Can you believe that after this video, you'll be able to make your own alpaca by hand? May's DIY kit comes in 3 versions: white, pink, and beige. They only differ in the fur color, but the punching process is exactly the same. So let's get your materials ready and follow along with May's tutorial. Insert the needle into the handle, leaving about 2.5 centimeters of the tip exposed. Once the needle is in place, tighten the screw firmly. If the needle tip starts to sink in, just adjust it and retighten the screw. Now that the needle is ready, let's move on to threading the yarn. First, remove the cap at the back of the needle. Take the threader and insert it from the needle's tip through to the end. Thread the yarn through the threader and pull it back through the needle. Once the yarn is out at the needle tip, remove the threader. Leave about 5 centimeters of yarn sticking out from the needle. Make sure the yarn goes through the little hole at the needle tip. That's what keeps it from slipping out while you stitch. Let's go through the punching techniques. Always keep that slanted side facing up and pointing in your stitch direction. If stitching upward, make sure the slant points upward. If stitching sideways, rotate the needle in that direction. If stitching along curves, follow the shape with your needle slant. We'll be stitching on the printed side of the fabric surface. Push the needle all the way in, then lift it just above the fabric. Punch again about 2 mm from the previous stitch. Make sure to always insert the full length of the needle. That way, your loops on the back will be the same length. Each stitch should be about 2 mm long, just enough. Avoid making stitches too dense, or it'll get bulky and hard to work with. While stitching, keep feeding the yarn, and don't press down on it. Avoid placing things over the yarn, as that can pull it tight. If it's too tight, the stitches may slip out. When punching a detail, punch outline the shape first. Then fill it in using a spiral motion toward the center. Stitches should sit side by side, not on top of one another. This keeps the fabric evenly filled, without making it bulky. Check the back from time to time, so you can fix mistakes early. To finish a stitch, lift the needle, hold the yarn, and snip it. Before practice, here are some beginner mistakes to avoid. Problem 1. The yarn slips out of the fabric after stitching. This can happen if the needle was not pushed all the way in. Short loops don't hold well and come out easily. Always insert the needle fully to create secure loops. Another cause, the yarn is too tight while you stitch. You may have forgotten to feed more yarn from the ball, or something was pressing on the yarn, making it stuck. Check for knots or remove any items pressing on the yarn. Third cause, incorrect threading dot. Yarn must pass through the tip hole. If it doesn't, it won't hold dot. Rethread the needle correctly. If you need to redo a section, gently pull out the stitches. Lightly scratch the fabric surface to close up large holes, then stitch over it again, as needed. But be careful, redoing too many times will wear the fabric out. So always follow the instructions carefully before starting. Problem 2. The loop side comes undone too easily. This usually happens when the stitches are packed too tight. Too many loops make the back bulky, and the needle may pull them out. So keep each stitch about 2 mm long. Another reason, you're pushing into old stitches by accident. Always aim your needle toward unstitched fabric while punching. After finishing a fluffy section, trim any uneven loops with scissors. This won't affect the design, just makes it neater. We'll start by hooping the front part of the alpaca and begin punching the fluffy fur. As always, outline the section first. Then fill inward in a spiral motion. Start slow to get the hang of it. Then gradually pick up speed. For large areas like this, punch shorter stitches about 1 mm for the outline. As you move inward, you can extend the stitches to 2 to 3 mm, so the loop pile on the back doesn't get too bulky. Keep your lines close but not too tight, to ensure full coverage without thickness. Once your hands get used to the motion, you'll see how fun and easy this is. Just repeat the punching action steadily, and your piece will turn out beautiful. Let's switch yarn colors and punch the saddle area. Here's how the backside will look. Starting to fluff up like real alpaca fur. Now let's flip it and punch the face of the alpaca using flat stitches. Begin with the small details, the eyes and mouth and cheeks. Push the needle in all the way, and pull the tail of the yarn through the back. Lift the needle slightly above the surface, and punch again 3 to 4 mm ahead. The technique is similar to loop stitches, but we'll keep the surface flat here. Don't punch too densely, we don't need this area as fluffy as the fur. To finish the flat stitch, insert the final punch, hold the yarn tail at the back, lift the needle, trim the yarn, and pull the tail to the back side. Always lift your needle close to the surface, so the yarn doesn't bulge up. If you accidentally lift too high, gently tighten the yarn tail before punching again. Punch slowly at first to get used to it, then speed up once you're comfortable. For the cheeks, outline first, then fill in just like loop stitches. After finishing the small details, move on to punch the rest of the face. For areas near the fluffy yarn, you can gently push the loops aside. Still follow the rule, outline first, then fill inward in spiral strokes. And now the alpaca's face is complete. If any loops stick out, you can trim them with scissors for a neater look. It won't affect the embroidery, just makes it tidier. To secure everything, apply a thin layer of fabric glue to the back. Don't overdo it, use just enough to hold the stitches in place. While the front side dries, let's move on to the back piece. Just repeat the punching as before, and glue the back when done. Once the glue is dry, cut all pieces along the dotted outlines. Don't forget to cut out the ear pieces too, following the printed shape. Next, cut about 70 centimeters of thread. Separate into 2 strands, and thread your needle. Tie a knot at one end. And let's start with the ears. Align 2 sides of each ear piece, then sew along the outline using backstitch. Leave a small opening to turn the ears right side out. Now flip them inside out, and you have two cute little ears. Place the alpaca's front and back pieces together, right sides facing in. Position the ears between the two layers. At the top. Sew around the edge, leaving about 8 centimeters open to turn inside out. Clip around the curves, so the fabric won't bunch up when flipped. Gently turn the alpaca right side out, pushing the corners with your fingers. Once you've sewn around the edge, trim the seam allowance slightly. Once it's flipped, stuff it evenly with polyfill or cotton. Then close the opening, using invisible stitch. To do this, insert the needle close to the edge, then sew to the opposite side. Make a short stitch, and continue switching sides every 3 to 5 millimeters. After a few stitches, gently pull the thread to tighten. This way the seam closes up neatly, and the stitch line stays hidden. And there you go. A super cute alpaca is done. If you run into any trouble while finishing your plush, just message May for help. We're happy to support you. Good luck with your alpaca, and see you in the next project.